folks, welcome to another episode of Gray's Trains. Today we're having a little bit of a jolly jaunt. What is Gray's Trains about? Well, I am Gray, and this is my train. This is Caledonian Single, number 123, in its LMS guise, which it wore in the 1930s. So, little history on this locomotive. This was an exhibition locomotive. Built by Nielsen and Company in 1886. It ran into LMS service in 1923, renumbered to 14010, and in the 20s it was used on director saloon work, but in the 1930s returned to ordinary service, where it worked for another 5 years before being withdrawn. It entered preservation because of this engine's rather unique status. And was restored to working order in 1958 by British Railways. Ran a number of rail tours in Scotland until the end of Scottish Steam. The engine currently resides at the Glasgow Museum of Transport in her Caledonian blue livery. I've decided not to put on the blue livery because I feel like that livery gets covered to death. So. This locomotive was developed by Christopher Wilson, of Victorian lad of Digital Traction, and he was kind enough to give me this locomotive to have a little go, and I really wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do. It is a very nice locomotive, very satisfying to drive, has some very good sounds that are recorded off 828, or the Caledonian 812, which resides up on the Strathspey Railway. Yeah, let's get some coal on the fire. So why LMS black? I just think it's a very interesting scheme for what's generally a locomotive always portrayed in blue. So. Little go on the hooter. I've got to say, which is a really old locomotive, damn nice to drive. You'd have thought that this engine would have been an absolute pig, especially the fire, but actually this engine is quite joyous to fire, actually. So yeah, this isn't a scenario or anything, this is just a quick drive. As I said, this is just a little jolly jaunt. Just having a little bit of fun, because hey, that's what I think Train Simulator is all about. It's all about having a little bit of fun. Yeah, I do like this engine. I love the whistles. Can we get my favourite whistle up? Come on. Where's my favourite whistle? Come on. Come on. No. I can't get my favourite whistle. There's one whistle that I absolutely love, where the engine goes Noot Noot, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, the route we're driving on is a freeway route. It's available, I think, in the Steam Workshop, and it's the Great North of Scotland Lines. I think that's what it is. So we're running from Sergal to Heathfield, I think it is. Heath Junction, rather. And this is just a quick drive scenario, as I said, many times. So what's the speed limit? Still 30. Speed up, come on. I imagine that working out what sounds would work on this engine would have been a bit of a mission. on the grounds that the real locomotive is currently stuffed and mounted at the Riverside Museum. It's probably not likely to run again. It would be nice if we could get it running again. It is a very unique locomotive. As I said, it was an exhibition locomotive. It was pretty much designed as a showcase to what Nielsen and Co could do. Only one of its kind. And as it was an exhibition locomotive, it would rarely pull trains tender first. In fact, it has no lamp brackets on the tender. There we go, getting the engine up to speed now. We're still generating loads of steam. The locomotive is classified as 1P, and it was designed as a sort of an express locomotive. You've got to admit that the single driver configuration wouldn't be the best for traction. As I mentioned in the first episode, traction is everything. Without traction, you go nowhere. The engine also comes with a rake of LMS, ex-LMS, ex-Caledonian railway coaches. Here they are in LMS period 3. They do look very smart looking coaches. And when this locomotive was initially launched, I thought that these were the DT period 3s, initially, like the old ones, and that Chris had made Caledonian reskins, but no, he'd actually made these from scratch, so credit where credit's due. Oh god. As I mentioned in my first episode, you're going to have to excuse the potato graphics. There's not an awful lot I can do about it. There really isn't. This is all part of the course. And also this engine is quite intensive on frames, because there's an awful lot of detail going on. Saying that though, LMS Black generally does perform a bit better than the blues for me. Interestingly enough, this engine actually carries 4K textures, which I can't really make the most of on this machine. So this isn't really a review as such, as I said, it's fun. Oh god. There we go. Get up to speed very nicely. There are loads of little touches I do like with this loco, like for instance Scottish thistles on the buffer wheels. Hey, realise we've just gone steaming into a 40 limit, which is quickly about to turn into a 30 limit Rossi mouth. And we've got, there we go. No, oh no, what's happening with our frames? No! I think I'm going to call this video the attack of the frames. I feel attacked, I feel victimised. The piss poor frames. No. An upgrade. I've had this machine for 6 years now, hasn't really given me any issues. But now it's just starting to show its age. It really needs more RAM. My brother built my machine for me. But it wasn't really designed for gaming in mind. Oh no. Doing a lot of speeding today. A lot of speeding. Oh no! Attack of the frames. attack of the lag. So yeah, this route uses a lot of assets from the Western Line to Scotland route, which is quite a good route. This came out in 2012, I believe. Yeah, I think it was 2012. I think it came out on Steam as payware in 2013. I'm really not sure, but I do think it did come out in 2012. I don't know where on earth, I don't know what's eating my frames, because well, if you look out on the horizon, there's barely anything there. One locomotive I'm very much looking forward to buying is the Caledonian 812, which Chris Wilson has been working on for a fair few months. In fact, I think he's been working on it for about a year now. It's just been released, 18 variations. I must say it looks very good, and I do look forward to buying it and having a go. As I said, this engine was gifted to me by Chris Wilson, but I intend to buy the 812. I intend to buy it. Because he's been very kind to me by gifting me this loco. Now, the exhaust noise speed, the sounds were done by Steam Sound Supreme, I believe. And for the high-speed running noise, which you can hear, that exhaust loop. Oh, okay. That's because we're slowing down now. I think we're on a hill. We are on a hill. It's not a very steep hill, but we're on a hill nonetheless. Does sound good. I do like this engine a lot. I love this engine. Can we get to the top of this hill? We are at the top of the hill. We need to slow down for another 30 up ahead. Right. Let's get the injectors on. Interesting setup for the injectors. They're in front of the cab. If you look on most of the engines, it's generally between the cab and the tender, so that means the fireman can actually see what's going on. Curse you, potato graphics. Curse you! Don't really need it, but I want to put more coal in the fire. That's my favourite whistle. That's the Noot Noot. That's the Noot Noot. These are just the B key whistles. The space whistle sounds like this. A little bit more work could have gone into the loop, I think, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I've heard a lot worse. Uh-oh. There's a 30 coming up. Move. Made it. The brakes on this engine, quite interesting, because what Mr. Wilson tried to do was he tried to simulate the air brakes that the Caledonian Railway use. That's really, I've found that quite interesting, how the Caledonian Railway, oh, hold on, ooh, that's a bit weird. Yeah, the Caledonian Railway started using air brakes, and now air brakes are just the modern way of thinking now. it was really the Caledonian. They were among the first to really use air brakes. And it appears it sent me into the wrong road. Was it Lucky? Lucky. I don't know. I lived in Scotland for 15 years and just thought I'd have picked up the lingo. And oh no, we've just done some accidental speeding there. Oh, damn you, tricky speed limits. You're always there when I don't want you. Let's get a nice shot of the engine going past. Beautiful, beautiful. It's 50 again? Good. I do find it a massive surprise just how easy this engine is to find. We were just about to get into that high-speed exhaust that I was going to talk about, but no, we hit a bit of a hill. Oh, there we go, we're speeding up again now. Right, this exhaust noise, this has been recycled a couple of times. I think the sounds for this engine came from Steam Sound Supreme. And Steam Sound Supreme first used this exhaust noise on the Rustic Engineman's E2, London Brighton South Coast E2, which was shot by Mr. James Horrocks. And the sounds for that engine were recorded on Birchgrove on the Bluebell Railway, Birchgrove being the 4 tank, which is, I think, one of the only Billington engines left in preservation. Actually be the only. No. I think there's a couple of others, but yeah, that's where they got the sounds from. They recycled those sounds, the exact same sound set for the J15, which or the Y14. Again, Rustic engine. We'll be looking at that engine in a bit because that engine is a very interesting engine, whichever way you look at it. The physics are a bit off, the sounds are a bit off, or are they? I don't know, so we'll need to have a look at that engine in a bit as a laser episode, I think. But yeah, this exhaust noise, it's also been used, well, it's been used on this as well, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be hearing it. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad sound. It actually sounds pretty good. It does scream a little bit of power. So slowing down for a 30 limit, it's coming up a bit. Passenger view. Very nice. I do love some of these murals on here. Gulf, mountains, Scotland. Caledonian Railway. Little Cardine in the corner there. That's very nice. See, I would have one of those on my bedroom wall. I really would. Well, I say bedroom wall. It's all I've got, and I live in a room next door. And you move the camera about as well, so you can sit there if you want. Some of the detail, like the moquette there, the strap on the doors, curtains, it's really well done. And the baskets on the top. That's something I have to give Chris a lot of credit for, which is his attention to detail. His attention to detail is second to none. It's amazing just how much detail he puts into his DLC. And he does a lot of work really quickly, I've got to say. I'm really impressed, but I couldn't help but think that if you got me to work that hard, I'd be broken within a fortnight. I really would, because he gets started on an engine, and a couple of weeks later, it's already in game. How do you work that quickly? It's absolutely amazing. I have a lot of respect for Chris, I really do. He does do an incredible job. And I do like this engine, a lot. I wasn't expecting to like this engine. Oh, it grows on you. It really grows on you. Because I finished all the pictures and I thought, oh, that looks nice, but I don't know, I'm not too sure. He gave me this, and I found myself driving it just for the sake of driving it. And I think that's the mark of a good item of DLC. If you just want to drive it, I think that's a really good thing. And something else I do like about this as well is that even though I've got my anti-aliasing turned off, so as you can see, like the telephone wires, they're all stacked. This is all in the pursuit of better frames, by the way. But the lining on the loco, it's not really, it's not come across as stacked. It looks really clean and crisp, and so do all the decals, the numbered decals, the LMS on there. I mean, that looks really, really good. There's a little bit of aliasing going on now on the S, but it's really well done. The textures are fantastic in this engine. As I said, the 4K textures. And even on my potato style graphics, it looks good. If you can get an engine to look as good as this in low quality graphics, then you're doing something right, I think. Oh, something else that's worth mentioning are the cab views. So you get this view, yeah. You also get this view, and this view. Now that is such a cool touch. I love this, because when you go into a tunnel, obviously it takes you into a cab view. So by making that into a cab view, you're still looking on the outside of the engine. And there's another one here where you're on the running board over the splasher. You can look back at the cab and look up the chimney. It's a very photographic engine. I like it a lot. I do like this engine so much. The cab is very smart. I haven't really been around 123 that much. I've been to the Riverside Museum a couple of times, but rarely. But it was many years ago, and I can't remember what the cab was actually like. But this looks authentic enough. I do like how he has made it look a little bit grubby, a little bit used. Because, well, this is a real working engine. It would be used in here. I mean, a real working loco wouldn't be perfectly clean in there. The coal looks pretty good as well. Wood floor, that's a good texture. There's very little I don't like about this engine. Very little. In fact, I think it's just pretty much the loop on the whistle. That's pretty much all. I'm not a big fan of this engine. I do like it a lot. But I might have to ask him for some of the lining on the tender, because if you look, the lining is a little darker on the tender, and also I'm pretty sure that the wheels would have been lined out and the axle boxes. I'm not sure, I'm not an expert on the engine. I don't claim to be an expert on anything. I'm not an expert in the engine. it's just a rather odd design choice, given it as it was effectively the poster child for the Caledonian Railway. But this is a really nice trundling engine. You know what I mean about trundling engine? When you just sit back, you just enjoy the ride, you're taking the scenery, you're taking the sounds. That's why that's why I like driving this engine, because it is a trundler. Unfortunately, I've just remembered there is one problem I do have with this engine. Scenarios. The scenarios that come with the engine as is require a hell of a lot of assets and DLC. However, this problem has sort of been rectified, because if you go onto the Digital Attractions website, you can get scenarios for the Cali Single which have reduced requirements on them, which I think is the way to go, because it means that more people can enjoy the engine in a scenario. I haven't played with a scenario yet for this engine, but I would like to, given that this engine was touring a lot in Scotland during the 60s. One thing that we do need, one thing I would love to see would be a pre-nationalisation or pre-grouping Scottish route, because I think that would be fantastic. It would be really good, and it doesn't matter what part of the country it would be, whether it was occupied by the Caledonian, the Highland, the North British. It doesn't really matter, because Scottish engines just have such a charm about them. They do have a unique quality. They are uniquely Scottish. I do like that about these engines. I do like that. I love the big fat chimney on this engine. I love the big fat chimney. And the diminutive size of the cab, and how everything is hidden away, how it's only how it's not even the bare essentials on display. It's just the basic clean locomotive. It just screams Victorian. This was an era when they used to put false sides on tank engines and tenders and things, because they didn't want to show the rivets. They wanted the engines to look clean, modern, and almost futuristic in a way. I mean, you compare this engine to a standard, and it's like chalk and cheese. In fact, heck, even compare this engine to the Q1 that I drove in the first episode. And the difference between the two of them is chalk and cheese. This was an engine that was designed to showcase the best of what a railway company could do. Whereas the Q1 was designed as an engine, it was designed as an engine to be used during war, to be built cheaply during war, to have the bare essentials on it, to make it light, to make it cheap to build. But this engine, I think they would have gone all out on this engine to make it as it is. And I think that, given that the engine still managed to pull off this sort of look in this really drab 1930s LMS black livery, I think that's a feat in itself, really. Remarkable engine, remarkable engine. We need to see it in steam. So, if anyone who manages the Glasgow Museum of Transport, the Riverside Museum, are you listening? We'd like to see this engine back in steam. I would anyway. I was going to go up there, but I'm not too sure. I might. Coming up to Octa. Stop at Herney Junction. I think that this video is gone on a bit long enough. As I said, this is, as I've said a million times now, because none of us is scripted. You wouldn't believe that. None of us was scripted. I'm just so professional, aren't I? With all my and I'm a professional amateur, okay? One of these days I'll have dynamic lighting and I'll be able to enjoy this engine a lot more without any block shadows ruining everything. Saying that though, I think the textures, as I've mentioned about the textures, they still hold up even in potato graphics. And it doesn't chew up the frames too much. It's quite a surprise really. I mean, my frames still aren't brilliant. I'm only pulling about 17 at the moment, but it's not bad. It's not bad really, considering how much effort's gone into this engine. And as I said, 4K textures and the rest of it. Right. Actually, you know what? I think I will drive the whole length of the route. We'll stop at Harney Junction. On passengers, and it will go on further to Keith Junction. For a freeware route as well, this is a pretty nice route. Most of the scenery does come from Western Lines of Scotland. Obviously, it's a Scottish region route. It's got to have loads of assets from the only Scottish steam era route in game at the moment. We need another. We need more steam era Scottish. We really think so. We need a place for this to run. We need a place for the 812 to run, where you can run them in blue, and it would look great. At some stage I would quite like to see someone put Maud in game as the North British J36 class. Maud is quite a well-known engine, resides in the Bowness and Kinneil Railway. Very much in the same vein as the 812 class. It's an 060 goods tender engine. But one thing I would love to do, I'd love to recreate his journey to the Shildon 150 celebrations in the 80s, where this little 060 tender engine drove all the way from Bowness to Carlisle to what's it called? To Shildon, where it ran all that that massive distance to celebrate the anniversary of the Rainhill trials. Which I think is bloody brilliant. The fact that a little engine like that could do a journey like that. I'd love to recreate it. I'd love to. And I'd love to share it with you guys. If we had the chance to recreate it, then I think we should recreate it. I mean, we've already got some of the routes in game. We've got Edinburgh to Glasgow. That would cover from Bowness to Glasgow. It did have I think it did have a bit of a run on the west coast, like Kilmarnock and Ayr. Before it then went onto the West Coast main line and ran up to Carlisle, then run over the settled Carlisle route, Carlisle line, before running all the way to Shildon. If we could recreate at least some of that engine's journey, then that'd be really good. Just noticed something else about this engine as well. It doesn't use water. I haven't filled up for a long time, and now I only just need to consider putting in some water. I don't consider anything, I just do. Lovely engine, absolutely lovely engine. I can't wait to have a go with the 812 when I get them. Slow down for Harley Junction, stop in, take passengers. Ooh, we could do an overshoot. We could do an overshoot. No, 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 overshoot, no. Oh, oh. Ho, 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 ho. That was bloody close. That was bloody close. Well, we're in the right place to do a token exchange anyway. We've already filled up with water. My word. Those be some quick injectors.
Right away.
You might have heard the right away there. That was a sound that was donated to Chris. A good friend of mine, Sam Logan, who, interestingly enough, is a volunteer in the Strasbourg, I think. Been a while since I've talked to Sammy Boy. Hope he comes on online again. Obviously there, I've overfilled the boiler because the injectors are so quick. And that was just the exhaust injector, by the way. Yeah, that's something that's probably worth saying, which is the exhaust injector isn't properly simulated. A lot of developers do try to properly simulate exhaust injectors. Basically, I think I've explained this in the Q1 episode. The exhaust injectors are powered by the exhaust of the engine. So as the engine's moving along, you can inject a little bit of water to replace what you're using. And it's not really supposed to use up loads of water. Oh, actually, no, I don't think I mentioned talked about the injectors in the Q1 episode. I think that was an episode I was filming last night. I decided not to because reasons. Right, at 10 miles away from Noot Junction. So come on, let's go. It makes many good noises and it very much tickles my pickles. Ooh, just started hissing there for a bit. Let's go onwards to adventure! Even the lining on the buffer beams. It's very nice. Look at the attention to detail on this engine. Look at it. Oi. Oh, quite by mistake. Can we get somewhere pretty for another little flyby shot? Train spotter cam. Get an Xbox controller to make my camera movements a little bit smoother. And I've been speeding and did not notice. Can we get my favourite whistle again? Can we get my favourite whistle? Come on. Oh, I can never get my favourite whistle up. It's my favourite whistle because it goes Noot Noot. I like my Noot Noot whistle. I want my Noot Noot. Give me my Noot Noot. I want my Noot Noot. Yay! It goes Noot Noot. Slow down a little bit too much, huh? Really annoying about how my graphics are set, because if I had the anti-aliasing turned on, all those fences wouldn't be looking so well good, quite frankly. It's a fluke, that Noot Noot whistle. It's my favourite whistle. It doesn't come up. Chug along here, chugging along the Scottish countryside. A Scottish engine. Even in black, it looks very pretty. This is supposed to be like a more austere colour. A lot of goods engines were painted in black because it was the cheap. I think it was the cheapest paint you could get, or well, was it the hardest wearing? I'm not sure about that actually. It's either one of those two anyway. But all the nice engines all got painted in really elaborate colour schemes. There is a version. 123 did actually carry LMS Crimson Lake for a while as well. So I think this is probably the latest scheme. probably 30 to 35 when she was put into regular service. I imagine she was only in Crimson Lake when she was put into Director's Saloon. I might be wrong about that. It's more of an educated guess, really. I don't really know the history of the engine. All I know is that it was a one-off. You gotta love some more attention to detail. You can just about see the internal valve. Don't want to speed again. This is the thing, as I said, this is a nice trundling engine. Apart from the missing bridge there, that actually makes it nice. Good job. See that yet? Take a screenshot now. Give me a screenshot. Yay. We've got a screenshot. Very pretty. I like this. Only got 6 miles to go now. So what is it that I'm actually planning to do with this series? The second episode in. What am I actually doing at the moment? Well, in regards to the channel, I'm currently going through re-identification. I am a furry. It is a big part of my life, being a furry. I spend a lot of my time being a furry. So I think that's pretty much the direction my channel should go. But a lot of people have sold me that they do like some of my railway stuff. So I think that railway stuff I'm going to have to keep. But I would like to do more. I would like to do more things within the furry fandom. Eventually, I hope to get a suit built up. I would like to do like loads of loads of almost productions in a way, because I do enjoy filmmaking and I do enjoy writing scripts and that sort of thing, coming up with a plot point and things. So I would quite like to do some stuff. Should I ever get a fursuit? I'm also hoping eventually to do something about motor furs, so furries who are into cars. I would like to cover like particular things around that, like I'm part of the Telegram chat for motor furs, and maybe cover some of the meetups we have. Maybe even look at individual furries' cars and stuff like that. So it's almost like just a typical car show sort of thing, but perhaps a little bit more than that. Now, obviously, my biggest problem at the moment is that I'm out of work and I haven't got a car. So we're talking way into the future there, but it is something I would like to do. Really, where's my camera going? I don't know anymore. Where's my camera going? I don't know. It might be going up my bum. I don't know. The correct road? I don't know what. Oh, that must be the entrance into a goods yard or something. Right, I think we can get a little bit more speed up now. Open the taps. Yeah, that's kind of my plan. I want to turn it more into a furry channel, but I don't want to alienate a lot of people. So railway stuff, car stuff, maybe even art stuff. Another thing I want to do in terms of the furry stuff is that there's too many channels out there that focus solely on the drama. I don't want to focus on the drama because, to be quite frank, you come onto YouTube and you watch things to get away from drama, to get away from your problems in real life. You know, because it's one time when you can actually stop thinking about some of your problems and start being human again. You don't really want to come online and just see, oh, so-and-so shat in a prostitute's mouth, oh, aren't they a bad person, and all the rest of it. It's just sort of, it kind of slaps you in the face a little bit. You know, when there's loads of videos that come out of people who are just angsty teenagers for the sake of being angsty teenagers. And you know what, I want to do something different. I generally try to stay chill. Granted, I do have loads of times, there's still loads of times when I have problems, when things get me mad, things get me angry, things get me grumpy. But I still fundamentally try to stay chipper, because I believe that your mood impacts on other people's. And that's the thing, I don't want to be a miserable bugger. I don't want to spend all my time sat there going, oh, I don't like him, don't like so-and-so, don't like this, don't like that, oh, I don't understand why people believe in that sort of stuff. I don't like that. I just want to have a more relaxed side to furry YouTubing. I don't want to do commentary stuff, I really don't want to. I don't want to do stupid vines. Because you get people who do vines and things, and they're like, oh, it's a really good vine. What, them falling over to modern pop music? Oh, that's bloody artful, isn't it? I want to do something creative, but the furry fandom is typically creative. Well, why is nobody in YouTube actually playing with that? Most furries are Let's Players. Okay, I'm not exactly showing the best example of how creative a furry can be, but at some point I do want to show artwork, maybe even do tutorials, things like that. I want to do things like that because I think it would be fun. Celebrate creativity rather than scold it. Everybody goes towards Let's Players and all the rest of it because people believe that, people go, oh, I put a lot of effort into it, put a lot of effort. Well, actually, putting these videos together for me doesn't take an awful lot of effort. I really must confess it doesn't, because I don't need to write a script, and when it comes to the actual editing of a video, all I have to do is drag the clips into a thing, put an intro at the start, maybe put a little transition screen every now and again, oh, and that's it, done. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. I think that, to me personally, I think a lot of gamers are mentally challenged. But there we go. You give them something where you have to have a little bit of ingenuity and just struggle. Whereas me, well, I'm currently trying to get a position as a mechanic. I'm currently trying to do that because I enjoy using my brain. I love using my brain. I think this is kind of why I like doing Train Simulator videos, because with Train Simulator videos, well, I have to think, okay, what would you guys want to see? What would I want to film? And then I also have to think, okay, I have to think within the limitations of my computer. So, what engine doesn't impact my frames too much? What route doesn't impact the frames too much? And so on. I'm using my brain all the time with this, and because I'm doing it all on the fly as well, again, I have to use my brain. I don't want to be dramatic for the sake of being dramatic. I don't want to be nasty for the sake of being nasty. Which is why I had a couple of false starts, today and last night actually, where I wanted to film something. I wanted to film a couple of items, started filming, one scenario didn't go particularly well, and I wasn't having too much fun driving the engine either. I don't really want to be nasty for the sake of being nasty. Which is why I'm driving this engine, because I do respect the work that Chris Wilson put into his engines, and I very much am looking forward to driving the 812 when I get the money. And I am not going to start a Patreon campaign, not at the moment anyway. I don't intend to start a Patreon campaign in any case, because I intend to get a job. I intend to keep YouTube as a hobby, because as soon as it becomes as soon as you start earning money from it, well, it stops being fun, doesn't it? Apart from mechanics. Mechanics is always fun. Apart from when it isn't. When you get that stubborn bolt that never bloody comes out. Right, there we go. This is an interesting looking tunnel. And I'm also getting really good frames in here. I'm getting 25 frames a second. Hold on. Dun 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 Oh. Oh, I missed a great opportunity there. Oh no. You know what I should have done? I should have recited that bit from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's what I should have done there. And the rowers certainly aren't showing any signs that they are slowing. Woo! Oh, it's all for fun. Right, come on, Chuff Chuff. We've only got 2 miles to go. Come on, Chuff Chuff. You can make it, Chuff Chuff. Oh, sorry, Noot Noot. Yeah, you did it on cue. Come on, Noot Noot. Let's go. Let's go, Noot Noot. You haven't got that far to go now. I've bored the tits out of all my viewers. Now let's finish this thing. Let's finish it. Come on, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. Come on. Come on, Noot Noot. Come on. I'm curious, where's the terminal station on this route? Wasn't there? Called Port Bivy. I think it is, or Port Bivy. I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember. You can't expect me to remember these things. I'm only a Sergal after all. There's only so much brain you can fit in a wedge. Right, that's the route all in all. Yeah. I do like this route. I do find myself driving on it quite a lot because, well, for one thing, it's gentle on my frames. For two, the scenery is pretty damn good. How long have I been driving? Christ, I've been driving now for 50 minutes. That's how long this video's gone on so far, 50 minutes. Right, come on, Chuff Chuff. Let's go, Chuff Chuff. We need some more water. We need more water in our boiler. Come on, Noot Noot. Let's go. Come on, Noot Noot. I call this engine Noot Noot, for he noots all the noots. Here goes Noot, here goes Noot out of his hooter. And that there, behind the red thing, that is the whistle there. That's your hooter. No. Keep pressing the wrong damn button. I keep pressing the damn button. Why did I put those buttons there? It's conspiracy. You gotta laugh at some people. You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh at a lot of people that go like, oh, it's a conspiracy. The government want to eat us all. They want to eat us. They are space lizards. Yeah, well, just chill out, bro. Just chill out. You know. You've only got so much life left in you. You've only got so much. You only live your life once. Why waste it by, you know, God-fearing other people by going, oh my God, we're going to be eaten by giant space lizards in the year 2022. There's no point worrying about that sort of thing. No point. No point at all. Take each day as it comes. That's what to do. Here's the thing. When you're living life, take one piece of joy out of every day. that is Uncle Gray's tip, kiddies. Stop feeling like victims. Actually take a little bit of happiness out of each and every day. Do at least one good thing a day. Do at least one good thing. Get something done. Get something done. A little bit of housework, perhaps. I don't care if you go, oh, but that's what mum's for. No, do a little bit of housework. Do a little bit of housework, and you'll feel accomplished. That's what I think. Do something every day that makes you feel accomplished, that makes you feel productive. That's my solution. That's my solution to living a happy life. What's this engine? Oh, it's 44826. I like 44826. Hello. Oh, Christ. Brakes! There ain't no brakes on the rape train. Oh no, I joked about rape. Oh no, I'm going to have so many people complaining. Oh, no, I stopped too soon. No, damn. Typically, frame rate drop occurs. Just about chucking our fire out the chimney there, but there we go. Right, so guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this little Jolly Jaunt. With Caledonian Railway Single, the Cali Single, number 123 or 14, I don't know. And I also hope you enjoyed this little route I've taken you on. Because sometimes, hey, you don't need to spend loads of money for a really good route. Sometimes you just need a little bit of ingenuity and a steam workshop, of course. So, right, so that is it there. Folks, thank you very much for watching. Please give some feedback, give me feedback. I'm not going to pressure you into subscribing, but give me feedback anyway, and I shall see you next time. Until then, toodly